But right now, we're going to go to our very first fight in Cage 1. Let's go. So this is Colossal Avian over there in the pink square, going up against BeeForce.
4,
BeeForce, you
3,
can see, is a multi-bot. These are two relatively equally weighted robots. Both robots need to be knocked out for a true knockout to occur.
We are launching wood off of the arena already, but the weapon is now off. That is a specialized weapon on one half of BeeForce that is gone.
It was a specialized weapon, Kyle. It is now a very expensive piece of steel.
Just lying in the middle of the arena somewhere. Now, as you can see, Colossal Avian is an overhead attack bot. Its job is to basically pin its opponents and launch that spinning blade into their top plates.
Ooh, big hit from BeeForce on Colossal Avian.
Yeah, nice shot.
You can see Colossal Avian's weapon was spun down there, a huge amount of damage on the top of BeeForce. Folks, those hits can be absolutely devastating. You can see that the half of BeeForce stuck up. Oh, another big hit. This gets really tricky for BeeForce. They're going to want to reserve that unstick for when it's absolutely necessary, even though they could be using it to get the half of the robot off the wall right now. They're hanging back a little bit.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. Just save it for when you're both trapped up on the wall. Look at the weapon hanging off the side there. It's completely disconnected. These are specialized hub motor weapons. It's a new design that they've been working with on the Honeycrack team.
There you can go. You can see the tracks on the second half of BeeForce are still moving. They're still functional.
Just stuck up on the wall. Colossal Avian not really allowing them to unstick themselves, which seems to be the plan of BeeForce
But Colossal Avian now smoking pretty darn good. That is not a good sign, Kyle.
No, not a good sign. Colossal Avian brought to you by Matthew Zhang. Really amazing driver and builder.
You can see Fluffy, the house bot, is trying for that unstick. It is doing its best to free half of BeeForce from the arena wall. Oh, look at that, Kyle. BeeForce is also smoking.
Yeah, coming out of the BeeForce team. Now the unstick has been called. Fluffy is trying to get the other half of BeeForce off the wall so that this fight can continue.
We've never seen this sort of situation. Those tracks, the geometry of that robot has it hung up on this wall pretty good, Kyle.
Yeah, it's going to be hard even for our big heavy house bot to get them down.
Remember that unsticks are not guaranteed. You are only guaranteed that the house bot will attempt to free you.
Yes.
It is not a guaranteed thing. Oh, you can hear the countdown has begun. We are, yes.
And that is your first knockout of the day by Matthew Zhang and Colossal Avian. So this is the first win for his team.
You can see a lot of excitement there. They are rightfully very proud of themselves.
Checking out the data as it goes through. This is the Just Longbird team bringing home the first victory. Extremely proud of them. Nice work. The BeeForce team is Honeycracked. They are one of the, I guess you could say, prominent teams here at most of our events.
I think the best word to describe Honeycracked at this point is prolific.
Yeah, they're everywhere. They have bots in every weight class. They bring so many competitors to every single event, and they are at every single event. I mean, they're always here grinding, putting out really amazing work.
Yeah, and they have gotten to this point, and then you can see Cody Graham, Zoe Lambert coming around the corner. These folks have gotten here not just because they're talented engineers, not just because they're talented robot drivers, but because they have such a sense of community. They have worked so hard to bring so many people into this sport and develop just a plethora of robots. It's really incredible what this group has done.
Now, this is a new design for them. These are hub motor spinners. That means the motor of the weapon is actually inside of the weapon housing itself. Really fascinating design that they've been putting a lot of work into. I know the team has been very pleased with the outcomes that they've had thus far, but I don't think they anticipated that weapon completely shearing off of the mount.
No, it's one of those things you get very focused. I almost guarantee you, Kyle, that weapon that was completely removed from the robot still works.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just not attached anymore.
Yeah.
And sometimes you focus so hard on a particular little bit of engineering, like making the hub motor work as best it possibly can, it takes away from other areas of development, like making sure the part that supports the motor is sturdy enough.
Yeah, I mean, keeping it on the robot is half the battle, really.
Yeah. But, you know, they'll get there. It takes time. All of these robots, I shouldn't say all of them, some of them are pretty darn dialed in, but even the most experienced builder here is still developing, still honing their skills, still trying new things, because otherwise you get left in the dust.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, that's the way it goes.
So this is kind of based off of a design from their 12-pound robot, and they've now kind of upgraded it. But apparently what they've been telling me is these upgrades are going to be brought down to that lower weight class with that other robot.
Yeah.
As their time is going on. So it's really interesting to see this team utilizing all of their resources to really build up every aspect of their game, every weight class, every piece working together. They're another team that's come to the same conclusions of, if we all share motors, if we all share parts, we'll always have enough spares because everybody's using the same stuff.
Listen, if I show up to a robot competition, I want 3 spares of everything, right? But I don't need 3 spares across, you know, just for one robot necessarily. The likelihood of me using all of them is almost nil, but 3 spares across 20 robots
makes perfect sense.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I want to touch too, you made an incredible point. The fact that we have now robots not only doing what you normally do, and you test something on a smaller robot and work your way up, but instead try something on a bigger robot and work its way down.
Yeah.
That's kind of a new phenomenon here.
Yeah, it's been within the past couple of years you've seen the really good builders start to do that, right? I think famously it was Jameson Go who first said, you know, I don't think about any difference between my heavyweight robot or my 30-pound robot. They're both So this is the battle of 2 overhead attack bots. We have Colossal Avian, a overhead attack saw bot, versus the king of hammer bots, Knock Off White. This is 45 pounds of just pure destructive force. Knock Off White, not only an extremely powerful hammer, but also just a bully in the box with that powerful shuffler system, able to push around almost any other bot in this weight class, and driven expertly by the Wrigley brothers. Adam driving the actual drive mechanism, Eric throwing the weapon, with characteristic reckless abandon.
Yeah. And the number of times per minute that hammer can fire
is insane.
So impressive. Here we go.
And you can hear Knock Off White getting into position. Now, Knock Off White with foam top armor from their former multi-bot configuration foam bot. Gotta love the repurposing of that. A big part of their strategy throughout the season has been their multitude of little multi-bots. So they're running all by themselves today, but it's good to see a little bit of foam bot out there to help out.
Foam bot lives on. You can't keep the foam bot down. You don't, because there are so few overhead attack robots, you don't often see them just, through the statistics of it all, be able to fight each other. So this is really exciting.
Now this is a version of their Mary, right? The
Mary Special?
The Mary Special. Mary Special is a specialized axe meant for grabbing belts and chains and ripping them off. When your bot is a hammer saw, like Colossal Avian, there are a ton of little belts and little chains for you to be able to rip off with it. So that's a really good choice going into this matchup. Colossal. So they got to make sure that the terminal is up and running properly so that we get the proper data back from the box on this fight.
And I saw a little celebration dance from our ref there, so.
Yep, got it working, got it working. Colossal Avian is part of the Just Long Bird team.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fight, robots, fight.
Those forks doing a lot for Colossal Avian right there.
Oh, no, held away just too far to actually make impact with the weapons. Both weapons, honestly.
Wow, this is so interesting. the battle of the forks, honestly. Preventing those weapons
nobody's
from
really
making
made
contact.
good contact. Here we go, Colossal Avian coming in for a side impact hit, but Knockoff White able to bounce themselves off the wall. Good shot there by Knockoff White. Right into the weapon system for Colossal Avian. Another shot directly into the center of Colossal Avian. Those hits don't look like they're doing a lot with the first impact, but wait till 20 or 30 impacts later, and there is a ton of irreparable damage.
Colossal Avian really trying to pick its angles here.
Nice shot there.
It looks like it's able to get under Knockoff White, but still not able to land a lot of hits because of the lengths of those forks.
And they're really not able to push Knockoff White after they get under them, just due to the geometry of Knockoff White. There's nothing. There we go. There's a nice push. Got under the side, and they landed a hit. That's what they need to do. Try to get those really obtuse angles.
The hard part is that almost any time Colossal Avian is in a position to land a hit, so is Knockoff White.
Yeah, just with that longer reach that Knockoff White has, that's true.
This
nice
is a shot right
Colossal
here.
Avian coming in, getting a little side shot there, but is the weapon still spinning on Avian? No, it is not. There's been some measure of damage to that piece by Knockoff White. But if they can continue to get underneath them and push them around, they will be able to rack up control points.
This is a good pin. And they're able to release.
And a big smack in the face just before they left. Is there no movement coming from Knockoff White?
It is very quiet right now.
Yeah, normally you hear that rumbling of the shuffler mechanism. Sounds like a countdown has started.
Colossal Avian not even poking them to try and let them come back to life.
Well, why would you want to wake up that beast? Congratulations to Colossal Avian getting a knockout.
Upset of the century here.
Beautiful job.
It is unclear what happened inside of Knockoff White to cause that failure.
Something failed. Complete shutdown of the bot. No power to it at all. That you don't see that often from the Bots FC team. In this case, the Reasonable Fight Club team. They just don't.
The reliability built into their robots is normally
they don't have these kinds of failures. This is crazy. But Colossal Avian used the exact right configuration for going up against this bot. Big, long forks. Even when their weapon was out, they were still able to deliver the hammer portion of their hammer saw over and over again into the side, racking up control points, racking up damage points. But at the end of the day, they didn't need any of those points because they got the knockout after Knockoff White just shut off.
And that is why it is so important to be able to build your bots for durability. A lesser robot, after all of those hits, would have, been rendered inoperable, would have been counted out, would have had some other issue. But Colossal Avian was able to at least weather those hits and last in the match long enough for Knockoff White to suffer some other issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
So congratulations there to Colossal Avian. They held it together long enough to outlive their opponent.
Sometimes that's all it takes.
So you know that Adam is going to have a lot to figure out, and it might be something incredibly simple. Maybe a wire came unplugged.
Yeah, solder could have broken. All kinds of things that could have just shut it off, but it's just not typical. You just don't see that.
But having won its earlier match today, they are not yet in danger of, getting eliminated from moving on to the bracket. So just something that they're going to have to figure out and hope that they get it figured out in time for their next matchup.
So that's a quick 3 points to the Just Long Bird team. Oh, sorry, 4 points for a knockout.
Wow, pretty good.
Yeah, not bad.
I would love to know more about what they
There's
are
Matthew
tracking
Zhang,
on their
he's the
computer.
driver of this bot. They are collecting a lot of data.
Is there some telemetrics built in?
Yes, and they were showing that off actually after their last fight. They were like, "Oh, check it out! Like no overheating," which like that's totally what a robot builder would nerd out about and be super excited about. Did you win the fight? No, but they didn't overheat. It worked well.
You take the successes where you can.
Absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah, they're from the University of Illinois, Urbana.
Urbana-Champaign.
Yeah. The longest name of a university here, I believe.
It is it may be the longest name of any university.
Oh, I
Don't
doubt
quote
that.
me on that.
I doubt that. There's got to be, like Purdue University of Central Western Illinois East Conference, I'm sure.
East Conference.
They can't be the longest one.
That university is going to write you some very angry letters.
I hope they do, and I hope they bring a robot and show us all up by fighting here. That would be great.
I like the way you think, Kyle.
See, I'm just bringing more educational opportunities into NHRL.
So loading here into cage 1 now. We have their synthesis 30. Thank you, Corey, for naming your robot that, knowing that I can't pronounce anything right. And Colossal Avian here on the left with that brilliant blue side armor package. Really beautiful bot.
You know I love a good overhead hammer saw. And I'm a really big fan of Colossal Avian, and they are going up against Synthesis, who has been marred by gremlins this entire day. Corey has put so much into this robot, and just as much into the robot as in the community. He is almost everybody's mentor. He is so beloved, and to see his robot struggle the way that it has today has been a little heartbreaking. So it's going to be interesting to see if he is able to make a comeback, or will Colossal Avian be able to capitalize on what has been a troubled day.
It's certainly an engineering challenge to put a weapon of that size into a 30-pound robot. We've seen heavyweights at 250 pounds that have smaller vertical spinners than you see here on Corey's bot.
2, 1.
Fight, robots,
here we go. It's on.
It's moving. Synthesis is moving.
Oh, no. But Corey is not spinning up.
No. Can that weapon on Colossal Avian fire into this perfectly positioned Synthesis? Yes.
We see a plume of smoke coming out of the top of Synthesis 30. Oh, and I see some of those internals now that are completely exposed, but we're also not seeing any spin up now out of that weapon on the arm, the over arm on the Colossal Avian. But now we are spinning,
wow.
Corey. Let's go.
Can he turn this around and send that Avian flying? Yeah, still seeing some issues there. But the weapon on Colossal Avian, I'm also not sure if it is fully operational either.
Oh, no. Turning Synthesis 30 on its head without its top armor there on that right side. Almost dumped its entrails out onto the bottom of cage 1. And Corey goes ahead, calls it a day, taps out.
Way to go, team Just Longbird. Colossal Avian really was able to maintain the control and the aggression in that match, and obviously the damage too.
There we see a LiPo battery kind of strung out of the top of Synthesis 30. And that was probably why it was a very wise tap out, because it wouldn't take much for one of those to really make a hot mess, and we would have seen Flo have to do the Flo thing again and put out another fire.
Although she's fully loaded with a brand new extinguisher, so
that is true.
ready to go. Tough day, I think, across the board